Hi, everybody. Welcome to No Story Sacred. If you've never listened before, basically, we're four siblings who grew up talking about the art of storytelling. Now that we're adults, we're still talking about it and inviting you to join the conversation. I'm Alex. Alex McDonald. Asshole.
I'm Kat, and as one of my favorite fanfics has said, I do wonder what hell was like before the Industrial Revolution.
I'm Brendan, and I've been flipping off Satan for decades.
Boom!
I'm Pippin, and let's be real, I am thirsty for both Keanu Reeves and Catholic imagery.
Yes! Snaps.
If you haven't figured it out already, today we're talking about the 2005 film Constantine, so spoilers abound. If you want specific content warnings about things we may talk about, check out the show notes on nostorysacred.com. Though as a warning ahead of time, there will be discussions about suicide.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like heavy, yeah.
Yeah. And also possibly violence. Yeah, you know.
Strong language, as always.
Going
Bad
Catholic
humor.
Going Catholic on Maine.
For those of you who've never seen Constantine, the summary according to IMDb is supernatural exorcist and demonologist John Constantine helps a policewoman prove her sister's death was not a suicide, but something more.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
Dun.
Do you think John Constantine actually has demonology? Do you think actually, do you think there's actually a PhD for demonology?
There's a PhD for everything.
Yeah, create your own program.
Oh, hell yeah. Also, frankly, thinking on it, there are, in fact, enough texts to do a reasonable doctorate on it. I mean,
A dissertation?
Everyone else is going to call it folklore.
Fuckers. No, but also, you have to think, does it have enough to be considered a field of its own so that it could be its
Theology.
own? It's within fuck. It's a concentration within theology.
There we go.
Oh yeah, so before we get too deep into the movie, I want to try to establish some things. Has anyone here read the comic Hellblazer?
No!
I meant to, but then I got distracted by everything.
I also meant to. I've at least held it in my hands.
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I started it. The first few pages were very heavy into bugs and insects, so I stopped.
Wow.
It seemed to lean more into body horror than I really wanted to.
Oh no, demons. Body horror? What?
Listen, the line between science fiction and fantasy and horror for me, of where it gets too much, is very fine.
And also vaguely defined.
Yeah. So, the movie, more supernatural fantasy sort of stuff, than, it had some body horrific elements. Oh, there's another warning, body horror. But not so much where my brain didn't translate it to horror, it translated it into gross fantasy. So I was still able to watch it, whereas the comics were all like, nope, this is horror. You're done now.
I've seen, the extent of my knowledge is, I've seen individual panels, that were artistically fantastic and/or demonstrated that John Constantine is canonically bi.
Yeah, in the comics he's canonically bi, he's canonically blonde, he's canonically British. So in the comics he's John Constantine, not Constantine. And that's how we know we're in an alternate universe.
More like John Constantine.
Whoa! But also, to be fair, we don't know that he's not bi in this movie. We see him being, into Rachel Weisz.
But who isn't?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things.
What living, breathing person isn't? Yeah.
That's oh no, do you find Sebastian Stan attractive? Welcome to the human race.
Tilda Swinton also here for everybody.
For everyone.
Oh, yeah. For everyone.
Non-binary Tilda Swinton. Yes.
What?
Well, non-binary Gabriel.
I was wondering, I wrote it in my notes, I was wondering if they cast Tilda Swinton as Gabriel to make it less weird for popular audiences that clearly Gabriel and John wanted to fuck.
Oh, so hard. So hard. That was watching them, you're like, oh, These people want to, like, wreck each other.
Though clearly John was more into Balthazar, or Balthazar was in the... I also got that vibe.
Listen, John has a lot of interesting tastes.
It's true. Balthazar was the one who said finger licking good, so...
Yeah, he did.
Finger licking good.
And I was like, ooh, subtle.
Yeah, and then he beats the shit out of him later, and that's gay sex. We've learned that, right?
Symbolically, yes.
I mean...
If I've watched any prison movies...
I mean, he did absolutely destroy him.
Yeah, he did. Okay, to be fair, I'd like to clarify, I've never actually watched any prison movies. What I have watched is Star Trek prison episodes. Which is where my thesis comes from.
There's your essay right there.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Wow.
I'd like to see that sentence entirely as the title.
Thank you. Garrett Wang is going to like, is literally calling me right now being like, hello, I'd like to give you all the quotes.
Garrett Wang?
He played Harry Kim in Star Trek Voyager, and he has a lot of opinions about the prison episode.
Good. Good for him. Anyway,
moving on.
To the movie.
So anyway, my point is, this movie's about supernatural sex and also, is very much not related very much to the comic book. I think the comic isn't as heavily Catholic as this.
I don't know. Also, he's supposed to be very much an anti-hero, I guess, in the comics. And in this movie, he may start one way, but he definitely ends up heroic. At least by the time the movie ends.
I believe that was partially the point.
My point is, if people have strong Hellblazer opinions, don't come at us with them, because we don't know.
We are not experts.
Yeah. We don't know it, and also don't care.
We're purely commenting on this film as a singular entity.
Hashtag don't at us.
Don't at me, bro. But yes. Alright. So this movie.
Yes.
This fucking movie.
I'll happily spend an hour talking about John Constantine being bi, but probably not.
Where's that gonna get us?
A lot of happy thoughts.
Yeah. That's called content. Alright,
That's called self-care.
Anyway, so, this movie. John Constantine is, what was it, an exorcist and a demonologist?
Mostly because he didn't have anything better to do with his life. It's a grim thing when you realize that you are definitely condemned to hell. What do you do with yourself then?
True.
Try to buy it.
Well,
they established that he's doing his work to try to buy his way back in.
Which in and of itself is not a selfless act. It's, so it kind of negates the whole thing. So the reason why he's definitely going to hell.
Actually, what is the return on doing a good deed, but it was not a selfless act? What is the return on that?
This is where we get deep into Catholicism, which is that the action doesn't matter, the intent does.
I think The Good Place already covered this, didn't they?
There's also an episode of Friends about this, believe it or not.
What?
Oh yeah, Joey and Phoebe have this whole discussion over whether a truly selfless act exists.
Holy shit.
Do they come to a conclusion?
Very close. Phoebe does something for other people that made her upset because it was I don't know, she was mad at Sesame Street for some reason. But then it got Joey TV time because it was a telethon thing, and then that made her feel good, and then she's like, shit! So, commentary on 90s sitcoms. What you come to this podcast for.
I mean, that's the only reason why I sign up to do these in the first place.
I mean, that makes sense.
Okay, but you guys, what happens in this actual movie?
Okay. First we have to establish, why is John Constantine definitely doomed to hell? It's for stupid Catholic reasons.
Because he committed suicide that one time because he saw...
time. As opposed to my multiple times.
He attempted suicide, was dead for 2 minutes before he was brought back. But that one time was enough to count forever.
Also, the reason why he was committing suicide was because he was not supported by his support network. For what is, in the film, definitely being able to see demonic and ethereal beings But in
Ghosts.
real life, would be for having a fairly serious, neurodivergent disorder.
For which you would need medical
assistance. You know, and therapy and whatnot. And even if the medical assistance couldn't fully help, therapy would certainly be a useful way to help drive these emotions. He got none of that.
John Constantine needs therapy, 2K19.
So instead he commits suicide, which is a tragedy for our system, and speaks very poorly of a lot of things. And then, of course, also he's damned to hell afterwards.
So really, that's God's doing some victim blaming right there.
Yeah, because, like, didn't God give him this gift?
God is a vicious prick.
Actually, in this film, yes.
Kind of.
Yeah. It's very
to be
much...
fair, we don't meet God in this film.
No, that's true. However, our understanding of God's relationship to humans in this film is very interestingly picked over. On the one hand, we have John Constantine, the demonologist, who's definitely doomed to hell, who describes it as God and the devil basically wagering to see who comes out on top of the final soul count. And then we have, like, Gabriel, the half angel or whatever. I'm not really sure how that worked out.
I think it's just angels and demons. He just calls them half breeds.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the way they're manifesting on the way they manifest on the human plane.
Oh, that makes sense, because if you think about straight up angels, the way they're frequently described as having, like, 13 wings and 87 eyes and stuff like that. So, okay.
Yeah, true angel and a true demon can't exist on our plane.
Without being like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes...
It'd be a big deal.
Yeah, so there's Gabriel, and Gabriel's description seems to be much more like, humans keep fucking up and fucking up and fucking up, and yet somehow God still loves you. What's the shit up with that?
Though, to be fair, Gabriel is not reliable in this.
I think a lot of people aren't reliable in this.
I think it's everyone got screwed over and no one knows how to deal with it.
Free will, baby, fucks us all up.
Boom.
You can quote me. Alright, no, okay. So, never mind John Constantine's background, because we know the important thing now. And the whole religious question. The point is, there is a magical artifact on the loose that that's the important key for ending the world, and Rachel Weisz's twin sister has killed herself, apparently.
That's the starting thing, yeah.
Rachel Weisz plays, the policewoman Angela. Very subtle name.
Very subtle.
And her identical twin sister, Isabel. Isabel has apparently killed herself, and is therefore doomed to hell. We've established that's how it works. Because Catholicism sometimes fucked up. Sometimes. And she's trying to prove that, it wasn't suicide because she would never...
Spider! Fucking... Oh, shit! I've lost it! Where'd it go? There it is. Sorry. Motherfucker. Oh my god. Okay.
Keep this in. We are keeping this in.
Okay. Sorry, everybody.
Demonic influence.
Oh, fuck.
God, I said the thing about Hellblazer and insects.
Yeah! You fucking did this. It was a tiny spider, but it was definitely doing that demon thing.
Oh god. Anyway. Oh,
that was like, oh my god, it looked like the warning shot, like, where the hero, who is me in this case, is like, oh my god, a spider, let me just kill that, and now there's gonna be like a fucking spider monster behind me. Like, what did you do, Pippin? What did you do?
My powers are too strong.
Anyways, continuing.
So, Rachel Weisz and Angela, because Rachel Weisz is an actor who's very pretty and has hair I'm jealous of. John Constantine and Rachel Weisz keep meeting each other, sort of. But they actually sort of meet at the church where John Constantine is going to flirt with Gabriel, the only possible explanation, and get exposition. And Rachel Weisz is going to talk with her priest who talked with the bishop or something about giving her sister a Catholic funeral, which she cannot have because she committed suicide.
I'd like to say that, like, the sister committing suicide is, like, the big mystery for, like, 2/3 of the movie.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to figure out, did she? And then later, when they discover that, yeah, she did, then it's why.
Yeah. I would like to point out that really, I'm going to get Catholic on Maine for a second, because clearly I wasn't before, that in order to actually sin, you have to do it with your free will. You have to knowingly and willingly do it. A person with depression and mental illness committing suicide, they don't really have their full will, because there's something obstructing that. Saying this is clearly a good idea when normally you wouldn't. So it is therefore not a sin at that point. It's just a terrible tragedy. They were murdered by their brain, which is unfortunate. So if she had actually been insane and killed herself, it would not have been a sin. It would have been a tragedy. She could have had a Catholic funeral and she would not have been in hell. However, we learn through the course of this movie that one, she is most definitely in hell. John Constantine saw her there. And
The fuck.
yeah, because John occasionally takes a tour through hell.
As one does, using cats and water on his feet. I'm not really sure. The feet thing weirded me out.
It's
a drowning thing.
I know with feet.
Yeah, but also she was not insane. She just had really scary visions that, again, was established. People misinterpret as mental illness.
And again, it demonstrates as a failure of our system. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she did, in fact, knowingly and willingly kill herself.
Well, here's the thing, though. Did she clue into the whole entire Antichrist thing? Because that changes the mechanics of all that, doesn't it?
That's a good point.
Because if she knows that the forces of literal darkness are targeting her for a Rosemary's Baby situation, then it gets weird.
I would argue that would make her a martyr instead. However, Angela does get the vision of Isabel saying Constantine's name. And there could be an argument over whether Isabel knew that Constantine was an option, and if she had another option.
Wait. But at the end of the movie, spoilers, she does go to heaven because Lucifer released her. Therefore, she knew that she was getting in. She in the end, she harrowed hell and got martyred for the sake of humankind. It's just not known to the rest of the world.
It could have been part of God's ineffable plan.
Ineffable.
He was saying it's ineffable. Oh my god.
That's so mean, you guys. I mean, this really tells me that the real hero of this whole fucking movie is Isabel.
Oh yeah, she clearly galaxy brained this whole thing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, she clued into what was happening, like, as the Spear of Destiny was being stolen, and took action.
Oh yeah, the Spear of Destiny is involved.
Possibly in the only way she was empowered to do so, really, because she was, like, locked up in a psychiatric ward.
It reminds me a little bit of when Captain America is stuck in the elevator in Winter Soldier, and he's looking at every floor has like Hydra agents, coming after him, and he's looking around, and he just takes this deep sigh of like, I guess I'm fucking doing this, and leaps out and falls 13 stories or some shit.
And everyone watching is all like, fucking really?
But he has that look on his face for a split second where he's like, I don't want to do this.
You know how some days you're like, well, this might as well happen.
I guess I'm fucking doing this. Okay. Aww.
So Isabel pulled the Captain America.
Yes.
Apparently. Yeah.
So lots of exposition happens. We meet a lot of John's associates who come and go. Some, more permanently than others.
Part of Constantine's thing, and I think this is true of the original comic as well, is that hanging out with him kind of signs your death warrant.
Yeah, he's a death magnet.
Yeah.
Which is why it's possible that, again, I haven't read the comic, so I'm not sure, how many of his male partners meet, terrible, demises. But also all of his female partners meet terrible demises. So it's not really super bury your gays. It's bury everybody.
Just do you date John Constantine? Sorry.
Why would you do that?
That's right up. Well, here's the thing. Don't date any heroes. Don't date Hercules. Don't marry Hercules. Buffy. Terrible idea.
I'm trying to think of one where you could date and get away with it without worrying too much.
Don't be a normal person and date them.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. If you have superpowers, I think you're okay.
Well, for variations on okay.
I mean,
Variations.
Yeah.
one of Matt Murdock's girlfriends made it out alive, but that's, I think, mostly because when he got rebooted, everybody's memories got wiped, including hers. Kirsten deserved better, 2K19.
For all you Daredevil fans out there.
They know.
They always knew.
So, yeah, there's some intrigue, some killing of some people, some Catholicism.
There's some James Bond Holy Relic Q weapons.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then one thing leads to another. And we learn that this whole thing is a plot by the son of Satan. His name is Mammon. I'm sure he was a very good boy when he was younger. Is plotting to return or come to the world of man to, create hell on earth or whatever. And in order to do this, he needs the blood of Christ, which is still on the Spear of Destiny from the time Christ got stabbed. And also, divine intervention, which we learn.
And a third thing, a powerful psychic.
And a powerful psychic, which apparently John doesn't count. Which I thought was some grade A bullshit. Because if you want a powerful psychic, John Constantine is right there, and y'all are cowards if you don't want Keanu Reeves to have a forced birth. If we're gonna do that.
But yeah, and then the divine intervention thing.
Which comes in the form of Gabriel, who doesn't understand why humans have God's love when clearly we're not working for it. Gabriel wants us to be worthy of God's love through trial. And at this point, in my notes, right under, oh no, Gabriel's hot, I have in all caps, we're already worthy of God's love, Gabriel. Fuck you. But yes, and in the action adventure climax, which I will now spoil.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gabriel's about to stab the fuck out of Angela to give her a magical C-section to get Mammon out into the world. As one does. And at that point, John is looking at his options and has some broken glass around him and, trigger warning, slits his wrist and kills himself.
'Cause it is established earlier in the movie, like other demons say this, that John Constantine's soul is the one soul that Lucifer himself would come to collect.
And so basically, John writes, "Dear Satan."
Well,
come and get me.
Because he's doomed to hell, and so he spent his entire adult life just being like, you know what? I'm gonna take this from you, take this from you, take this from you, take this from you. I refuse to stay put. Fuck you, Satan.
Well, he's also trying to send demons back to hell in order to get into God's good graces. It's that whole selfish act thing again.
Yeah.
All he managed to do is piss off everybody.
Everybody. But, also, this is a callback to, Isabel's act of, committing suicide so as to set a chain of events, in action.
The time is stopped during all of this. Comes up to greet John. They have a nice repartee. Maybe they should make out. I don't know.
I think Lou was into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Also, that guy, the guy playing Lucifer, great. That was great, eh?
And John's all like, "Hey, how's your son?" And Lucifer's all like, "Great, good boy, we like him." And John's like, "He's in the other room." And
Good for him.
Lucifer's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And he's like, he's hanging out with Gabriel.
Well,
Can't account for taste. Which I think means there should be Gabriel Mammon fanfic.
Boom.
Nice.
and then also mentions the Spear of Destiny, which I think Lucifer at this point is like, you're trying to trick me. I have keener insight than this, young man.
And John Constantine's like, what have I got left to lose?
Go take a look. You're all powerful.
Go check. I'm not going anywhere.
And yeah, so Lucifer goes and inspects the scene and sees, oh shit, Gabriel's about to do a magical C-section. This was not in the plan.
I have a thing going on with God right now. What the shit are you doing, you tiny hanger-on?
Son, we are going back home to talk about
We
this.
are turning this world around. And I am canceling Disney World.
Oh, we are turning this whole theological debate around.
Meanwhile, Gabriel was like, you're Lucifer. I'm gonna stab you for God. It's like, that's sweet.
And then Gabriel can't touch Lucifer because Gabriel has lost their power. And I hesitate to say that they've lost God's love, because that's not super how it works. But who knows, with angels?
It might be different.
God has cut them off.
Yeah.
They've lost their grace.
They have fallen.
Ooh.
And Gabriel loses their wings. They get kind of burned off. It's pretty great. And so then Lou takes care of the situation in like 5 seconds.
Well, because he is less powerful than God. However, I mean, like, he's the other major player on the board. Like,
Yeah.
And
He didn't become the adversary for no reason.
yeah.
Yeah. And then he saunters back over to Constantine, as like, well, time to go, buddy. But as he starts dragging him back
it's
to
an
hell.
important thing
that
allows this to happen.
Right. Yes, good point.
Lucifer recognizes that John Constantine just did him a favor. Because if Mammon had come into the world, Lucifer would have lost his hold. It's like, so what do you want? Do you want your life? Do you want... I can give you back your life and I can get your soul later. And Constantine's not like, you know what? No. The girl Isabel, let her go to heaven. She didn't deserve any of this shit. And Lucifer's not like, fucking really? And John Constantine said, yeah, fucking really. So Isabel gets to go to heaven, and Lucifer starts to drag Constantine to hell, but cannot, because John Constantine has finally done his selfless act of giving up his place to Isabel. And so he starts getting lifted up into heaven in a very, Assumption of Mary look.
Flipping off the devil.
Mary would not have flipped off, Lucifer, that's true.
I mean, how do you know? Are you certain, though?
The Virgin Mary probably wouldn't have. She would have made him cookies.
I mean...
and forgiven him all his sins.
I mean...
Are you certain?
I mean, okay, so...
Magdalene would have.
Here's the thing. I have a lot of feelings about the Blessed Virgin Mary. A lot of them having to do with the fact that she was a goddamn mom who had to deal with tiny baby God doing some really, like, bullshit moves. Like, where's my kid today? Oh, he ran off and, like, is arguing with adults in the temple. Like, oh my God, Jesus, we're going home. We're going home.
Which is why I feel she wouldn't have flipped him off, because she's dealt with worse shit than Lucifer.
Okay, that's a fair point. Because, I mean, what do you do when, like, the baby Jesus just will not stop crying? Does he have colic? You changed his diaper. You fed him. What else does he want? What is going on?
Or has he seen all of the tragedy of man in one look? Who knows? Who fucking knows with him?
It's 3 a.m. You've been up for 72 hours. Just this constant crying. And, like, what are you supposed to do? Get a babysitter? No, this is God.
Anyway, the point is, John Constantine gets lifted up, starts flipping off, Satan like you do. We should all flip off Satan if we meet Satan.
Agreed.
Yeah.
If you meet the Buddha on the road, shoot the Buddha. If you see Satan on the street, flip off Satan. One of those is harsher than the others.
But the thing is, Satan is a poor loser.
Yeah, he is.
And so he reaches out and touches John Constantine.
Yeah, he does.
And,
gropes him a bit.
Oh, actually, we gropes him. But we also had forgotten to establish that, the entire movie, John Constantine is dying of, basically lung cancer or something like that. Basically smoking related disease.
So he's got like a few
he's
months
been smoking.
left.
Yeah.
A pack a day will do that to you.
He's been doing on-screen coughs the entire movie.
Not the best sounding coughs either, by the way.
No.
Like, those were some fake ass sounding coughs. Keanu, you're better than this.
Well, it could be the director. We don't know.
True.
So at this point, Lucifer, at the end of the movie, reaches into his lungs, and then we just see him have all this black goo, and Constantine is healed and alive.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Lucifer removes the cancer and brings him back to life to give John the opportunity to sin some more and earn his place back in hell. But my question is, if committing suicide that one time, when it didn't work, was enough to damn him for the rest of his life afterwards, was that one act of grace enough to promise his salvation forever after?
I think the idea is that he now has kind of like a good slate going forward. Like, if he is good and is doing kick-ass stuff. I don't know.
I'm just saying, if the one's enough to damn him, then the other should be enough to save him.
Maybe that's a debate that he can have with himself later on.
Constantine 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And possibly also, afterwards just live his life. Like, what's the name of that guy who figured out the good place in, The Good Place?
Wait, what?
Shoot.
The one who figured out the system.
Oh.
In The Good
Shit,
Place.
him.
Yeah.
It's not Jeremy Bearimy.
No.
Is it Doug something?
Forever. I think so.
Doug Forsyth?
No.
Either way, him.
Doug Forsett.
Doug Forsyth, yeah. Canadian, wasn't he, or something weird like that?
Yeah, from Calgary.
There you go.
Yeah, so he could pull off Doug Forsyth and just, live completely off the,
But let's be real, he's not.
Yeah, no.
Although, remember that there is no ethical, consumption under capitalism, which is the secret message of The Good Place. Thank you.
Woo!
Good night.
Woo! Anyway.
I almost said Good Omens. I'm like, no, that's not the message of Good Omens.
Good Omens is the message is queer.
Yeah.
Yup.
However you choose to define it that day.
You can have your boyfriend and save the world.
It's true. But yeah, and then, I don't know, Rachel Weisz gets the sort of destiny to hide however she sees fit. I am of the opinion that maybe it should be cleaned.
What?
To get rid of the whole blood of Christ thing.
No,
That's why they
Pippin,
need this sort of
it belongs in a museum.
When it can cause the end of the world, maybe not.
Or you could smelt it down and just and now it's gone forever.
Oh my god, no, but what if we did like a really fucked up Jurassic Park?
Oh.
Welcome to Jesus Park. I
think that already exists.
Well, there's the Holy Land Experience down there in Orlando, but it hardly counts.
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining giant Jesus Christ, trying to figure out how the electric fence works.
Don't move. His sight is based on movement.
The glass of holy water rippling.
Wine.
Oh no.
That should be a sketch.
Oh no. Anyway, and throughout this whole movie, Keanu Reeves doesn't make out with anybody, and that's a tragedy.
Just back to Jesus Park thing?
Yeah.
Instead of Jeeps, it's Popemobiles.
Yes.
Anyway, go back.
Wait. What do they genetically spice a Jesus with?
A frog.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta be frogs.
Yeah.
And Q here, I would like to put a link, Pippin, in the show notes to the Trans Jesus Tumblr blog post.
Jesus is totally trans!
Thank you.
All the blood imagery he can't not be.
Raptor Jesus, born of Raptor Mary.
Okay.
Also,
okay. We've been talking for 40 minutes.
There's also the final scene with Gabriel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Gabriel. You're so weird.
Gabriel got their wings cut off.
Hey, you want revenge?
You could kill me.
It'll be glorious. I wronged you. You should kill me.
You'll feel good.
This is in no way me trying to commit suicide, which has been the theme of the movie. And then Constantine punches her.
Them.
Just punch it.
Them.
Huh?
Him. We don't know.
We don't know.
Says.
That's why them is a nice neutral.
Who said him?
I said her.
And then Constantine just punches them. And it's like, that's pain.
Welcome to the human experience.
Welcome to Earth.
And then Gabriel just kind of backs away into that pool and like, are you gonna just drown yourself?
Wouldn't put it past him.
Nope.
Yeah.
Though, that being said, there is some truly astonishing fan fiction related to Gabriel and to their experience after this film. Like,
do they sleep with Constantine?
No, but they kind of talk
God
about
damn.
it. I mean, probably. Maybe I just haven't read that one, and that's a failure on my part.
It is.
But from one of those stories is, I believe one of those stories is the one where, what did hell look like before the Industrial Revolution?
What did hell look like before the Industrial Revolution?
And I have the answer to that.
Oh?
I do. My favorite description of hell, because we all have one, right? Right?
It's other people.
Oh,
Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Ooh, nice. Is actually from John Milton's Paradise Lost, because I'm going to be that bitch. But one of the descriptions that he includes of hell is that it's rocks, caves, lakes, fens, bogs, dens, and shades of death, a universe of death. Which is a fucking metal way to talk about hell, but also, those are all not necessarily bad places. They're just places that you're really, really certain spiders are. Speaking fucking of. So, you know, you gotta think, like, industrial stuff is not necessarily bad. However, you're like, no, it makes a lot of sense, though. Like, they're related to, like, pollution and to general human misery and to stuff like that. Like, I could see this definitely being, like, the evolution of hell's landscape. From, like, no, there are definitely bad things, like, I could see bad things being here. Like, yes, I could also see bad things being here. This makes sense.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So, did you guys know that there's an after credits scene?
What?
Yeah.
What's the fucking after credits scene?
Because there's a character we have not mentioned at all that's prevalent throughout the entire movie, Kat.
Yeah!
Yep.
Shia LaBeouf!
Fuck!
Yeah, Shia's in
Here's
this
the thing,
movie.
I refuse to make fun of Shia LaBeouf because I genuinely think that he's a child actor who somehow hasn't managed to kill themselves. So, like,
No, actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf is just funny.
that's hilarious. But also, like, I'm not a big one for jumping on the making fun of Shia LaBeouf train.
I wasn't good.
Make fun of the character, though.
Yeah, the character's kind of dumb.
And notice how we never even mentioned him. But in the after credits scene, he comes back. Constantine is visiting his grave, turns around, turns back, and there's Shia LaBeouf dressed in the same outfit Gabriel is wearing at the end, with wings, and he flies away. Sort of arguing that he is now the new Gabriel.
He did a bunch of selfless acts.
He did.
He wanted to do this just to be like a cool to be a cool person's the problem, but he wanted to do good things, and he died a martyr.
It's true.
On one of the biggest shitting things going on in this particular theological mess.
And got killed by an angel, so.
Yeah. Killed by an angel. The lesser popular series.
But yeah, also, this movie came out before Iron Man, which popularized after credit scenes. So,
Oh,
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
True. John Constantine. Actually, no, he's DC. I was about to make a Nick Fury reference.
No, do it. Who cares?
we support you.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
To be fair, John Constantine is the sort of character who would just show up in other people's stories.
Yeah.
Yes, he is a meta character, like from our game.
He'd show up at, like, Doctor Strange's Sanctorum.
Oh, they would have fights. You know it.
And would that lead to fucking...
He'd show up
should
in
be our
Buffy.
game at the end.
He'd show up in, like a reverse meta character one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Who has John Constantine had fights with, and what were they about?
I am willing to go in on that.
Okay, we'll do that game after our changes.
Awesome. I forget what. I was going to say that Alan Moore, I think, has a story of how he thinks he passed John Constantine on the street once.
Ooh. That's not.
But then authors be crazy. So anyway,
Insert here quote from Edward Gorey.
right? I know the exact scene you're thinking of.
Exactly. Thank you.
So anyway, are you guys ready to discuss maybe things we'd tweak with this story? Things we'd change?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a general comment of a thing that needs fixing, but I'm not sure how to fix it.
Go for it. We can discuss that.
I noticed that a lot of the exposition was kind of clunky.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. The beginning of the movie has title card exposition, and I hate that.
Yeah, it starts with an unattributed quote.
Boo.
He who holds the spear of destiny holds the fate of the world in his hands, or something like that. It's probably not actually a quote from anywhere, because they're making shit up. But they weren't even on top of it enough to come up with a fake citation for it.
Guys.
I'm like, you guys, come on.
I actually really like title card exposition for exactly one reason, which is that in the one screenplay I tried to write that I really care about, I had one. All it said was hell is the absence of God, and I attributed it.
I mean, I argue that sets tone more than provides exposition.
Not like this opening title card was like, Hey everybody at home, if you don't know what the Spear of Destiny is, here you go. It's important. Whereas I think usually you can do that stuff with dialogue between characters and it's so much more compelling.
But you have to be careful because it's in danger of becoming like, as you know, Bob, and explaining things these characters should already know.
Well, that's why ideally there should be, Rachel Weisz's character would be ideal for this, right? Because maybe she knows some of the background lore and maybe the importance of it all, but not necessarily the details, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that was part of my problem because a lot of the exposition in this movie was a lot of, as you know, Bob's. It'd be...
Yeah, they're both Catholic.
Well, all the Catholic stuff between them, the demon stuff between John and, like, say, Midnight, the neutral bar owner. It's clearly a rehashing of things we all know. And it was clunky and awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it was Chaz going, look at all the things I've learned. And it was awkward because he was telling it to the people who already know. It didn't come off as a student trying to prove himself. It just came off as annoying.
They could have done it by, Constantine, taking his mentorship a little more seriously and quizzing Chaz. And then correcting him. And so that becomes a back and forth as opposed to an as you know, Bob.
And he could have still been an asshole about it because that's John's character.
John's a bit of an asshole.
It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, the exposition needed fixing, like hardcore.
Yeah. So just smooth out the exposition.
Smooth out the exposition and let Keanu Reeves kiss people.
Right.
I mean, what?
A lot of near misses.
What?
Him and Midnight clearly had a thing once.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, Constantine and, Gabriel, Constantine and...
Balthazar.
Not even necessarily making out with people. Just let him flirt with people.
He wasn't.
I mean, he was a bit with Angela, though some of his line readings with that were a bit awkward as well.
Yeah.
Because at one point she gets into a bath of water in a white shirt and a black bra, and it was a good time.
Lots of that happening.
Yeah. She asked beforehand, is this undressed enough or do I have to take everything off? And there's a pause and she's like, John? And he's like, I'm thinking. But the I'm thinking line read didn't feel...
It didn't feel flirtatious. It just felt like he was actually thinking.
Yeah.
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 Do you mind if I go next?
Go for it.
Go for it.
We got kind of a carousel of characters happening in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of like, hold on, let's talk hook to this character. And like, they provide some esoteric knowledge that John probably could have A, already knew, or B, looked up in the book. And then...
I'm sorry, who says that John Constantine can read?
But also, I mean, like, I see that they are trying to evoke the idea of a larger universe.
Yeah, they still hadn't gotten... Because it's still like early comic book movie days. They still hadn't learned how to introduce all the other side characters.
You know what does indicating a larger world well?
What?
John Wick.
True.
Because they're all people he wants to murder now. Or want to murder him. So yeah, like, it was very, like, high and die. You know? And you end up losing a lot of other, character moments. Cause, we meet Gabriel at the beginning of the movie. Like, near the beginning of the movie. And then it's at the end, they're like, oh, it's you!
Hey! You?
Old man Rivers! I should have known it was you.
And so, like, Gabriel's, didn't really feel earned. You know?
There should have been another meeting somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So that when they came back, it was the third time.
Rule of threes!
Yep.
But here's the thing, if you did the rule of threes, would that then not indicate to the audience that, if you did the second one, you're like, well, they gotta come back. In what capacity?
Well, yeah, like...
Or is that just, like the standard, letting the audience actually figure out the fucking mystery?
Yeah.
Or it could have been a nice, like, not like this moment.
Not like this.
Yeah. Like, an interesting scene of John trying to get to Gabriel, who, like, hey, Mammon and the Spear of Destiny, and Gabriel being, I'll see what I can do, but I'm useless in these matters, kind of deal. You know?
I could see
maybe spreading some false but not false information.
Yeah, just like some breadcrumbs.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So what I would do is like just one more scene with Gabriel and possibly cut Beeman.
What? Not Beeman. What'd Beeman ever do to you?
Wait, is Beeman Q?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I like supernatural weaponry.
Beeman was the bowling alley guy. Right.
Oh shit, there was that priest too.
Oh yeah, what was his name? Was his name actually Hennessy?
Yeah, that's what they called him at least.
Yeah, because he drank.
And then he died horribly.
Yes.
It's super cool.
Alright, who's next?
Shit, yeah, let's do it. My big change is that I actually really appreciate the more practical aspects of, instead of mystical woo-woo, this is how you, do demonology, this is how you survive in the supernatural world. I really appreciate the, sort of practical shit that John does. Really, skipping all of the niceties just to actually get the job done. Like, get me a fucking mirror. You know? Like, this is the next... What I don't like is when it stepped into kind of silly. Like, I feel like they could have... okay, I'm sorry. Putting your feet into water. I know it's supposed to be a shortcut into, getting stuff up. But it's still kind of dumb. I feel like there could have been a middle point between... practical shit and, silly. Because, you could do cool stuff with cats, but, imagine if instead of, sitting in a chair with your feet in a thing of water and holding a cat and staring at it real hard, what if they broke it into an animal shelter, for instance? And he looked around until he found, a really asshole-looking cat. And then, let's say, he just stuck his entire face in and let the cat scratch his face up. And that was the trigger. It still gets the very practical, okay, we're gonna fucking do this, without it being, easy
Dumb.
to make fun of. So that's really where I'd like to, that's what I would do. I would do an adjustment to a lot of these activities so that they are, so you get that flavor of, he's not doing this to get praise. He's not doing this to, show off God's whatever. He's doing, he's literally just doing the bare minimum to get the job done. And boiling down these techniques to their very basic requirements. That's what I'm into. And I'd like to make some adjustments based on that. I think that would I think that would speak better to the long-term non-make funability of this film.
So yeah,
Pip?
I want to push back against the water thing.
Same.
Fuck you both. Okay, go on.
Because one, it needs to be established, that she needs to be submerged fully into water for her, psychic resurrection thing. And for that to work, it needs to work in small ways for him. Two, there's baptism imagery through the whole thing.
Yeah. Yep, that was my thing.
3, feet, because of the washing of Christ's feet.
Fuck.
Or Christ washing other people's feet.
Damn
And
it.
4, water is an important symbol in general outside of the world of Constantine.
It could have been less stupid. I'm just gonna say it. It could have been less
Here's
stupid.
the thing. Bringing in the washing of feet by Christ makes it not stupid in this context.
Damn it.
What? Also, he needs to have his feet wet for the electrocution later.
Couldn't he have, put his hands in it? I don't know, man. The bathtub scene, I will grant you. Bathtub, genius. Loved it.
Want that tub.
Would it have helped if instead of just dipping his feet in, if he had just sat in the bathtub instead?
I would have been totally into that.
But that's not his thing, because like
That's
you
not
said,
his thing.
he's taking the...
Motherfucker, he's doing the... Yeah. Maybe I just have an anti-feet thing.
It
And
could
that's
be
okay.
It could be the feet thing.
It could just be a foot thing.
John Constantine does the ice bucket challenge and sees hell.
But you're absolutely right. It is the least possible. Fuck. Okay.
And so it is what you were talking about, the bare minimum requirements of the ritual.
Damn it, motherfucker. Ugh. Fucking
Aha.
fine.
I mean, it could be just omit. I was about to say omit having a staring contest with a cat. which I think is arguably the thing that people made fun of more.
Yeah, that was the weirder part of that.
Well, okay, but
Because it doesn't come back either.
yeah. Well, and also it's the thing is that cats are connected to witchcraft as familiars. It's not necessarily demons, you know? I mean, unless you
pagan.
consider familiars to be witches, like demons that are associated with witches. But again, that gets into witchcraft, and we don't have witches in this fucking universe.
But it's pagan, and as you know, Bob, Christianity just took anything that's pagan. I mean, that's a demon.
Reskin
true.
it.
Ew.
Reskin
Literally.
is a video game term.
Literally.
I did mean metaphorically, but Christianity, it could have been literally.
Right.
Delicious
Anyhow.
flaying.
Yeah.
Ew.
Fucking fine. Anyway, so that was my change,
gross.
I guess.
Well, you want to have a highlight on practical
I do.
demonology.
And I think that that's what makes him really interesting, because he's not doing it for the shits and giggles. He's not doing it to gain praise or anything like that. It's purely mechanical.
In other words, you want supernatural.
I fucking don't want Supernatural.
You want you want the first season of Supernatural.
I want Supernatural where all the women don't fucking die. Thank you.
Fair
And that's
enough.
my hard take.
Woo!
Well, actually, that kind of does tie into what I want to talk about for me.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of wanted Angela, and maybe by proxy Isabella, her sister, to have more to do, because they seem to just be information vehicles for the most part, except for being a plot coupon at the very end of the movie with the demons. Because they establish with dialogue like, oh, they're very powerful psychics. I want to see, like, after the psychic resurrection thing, I want to see some kick-ass, demonology stuff from her part. Because all she does is basically get, psychically reawoken, provides information, and then, like, a scene later, gets captured.
Yeah, she gets thrown around by Constantine a lot in that one bit where he was like, twins think alike, and I was all like, not really.
Brendan, should we tell them?
I wouldn't know where to. I wouldn't know where you hid your things.
Yeah. He mentioned, one of you got hurt, the other one would start crying. I'm like, nah. Alex broke his ankle. I did not feel it.
I think that just speaks to your general callousness, though.
I am a bitch. That's true.
But anyway, you guys see what I mean, though, right? Like,
Yeah. No,
I
totally.
want her to be busting demon ass.
I want her to raise her hand and people go blasting.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty damn cool. Like, you could still have, like, the climax of the movie happen. She just gets, like, overpowered because an angel gets involved. Oh no. Like, an invisible force, like, what the heck's going on here? But, like, she could have been blasting heads of that, floor of demons. Although, frankly, I did like the resolution they did have in the movie itself with throwing a cross in the fire sprinkler system. That was fun.
Though having the demons, once it starts spreading, go, holy water was unnecessary.
Spelling it out for the rubes.
Yeah. Clunky exposition.
Yep. Another pet peeve of yours. But, like, I just want to have more with her. But then I was also thinking, like, man, we're having a whole lot of stuff here. It's almost too much for your standard 2-hour movie. What if we, did the Netflix treatment here? Do a series.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like we don't have, Daredevil on Netflix anymore to tide us over.
Well, point of order, just so everyone's aware, there was a Constantine TV show.
Aw.
It was short-lived, but he was actually British and blonde.
And bye.
And by what? It got cancelled, but that same actor now plays Constantine in DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
Ah, nice.
Where, again, he's bi.
Yeah.
But, okay then. I'll take it back then, because I've already done that. So, we can find, I'm sure actually we can find stuff in this movie to just cut. We can probably cut the demonology Q bits, because frankly, we don't need it.
We don't, but
Constantine knows.
It goes back to my thing, which is it's against his sort of shortcut shit.
But the dragon's breath flamethrower.
I know.
Constantine could just have it.
Like, he could just do that shit. Like, this is the man who got a tattoo on his arm so that he could very quickly do shit. I mean, like, what's the least amount of effort I could do to get stuff done? Boom.
I did appreciate the tattoo reveal.
Yeah.
Because you can see it on his arms throughout the movie. And then at the end, there's a payoff of, what the fuck is that?
And it's like, oh, that's what it's for. Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But if he's going around getting, like, special stuff, like, okay.
What I'm getting from this is that none of you appreciate Beeman.
No, not really.
God damn it.
Sorry. I mean, he provides exposition and some tools and then dies.
Like everybody in that movie, except for Midnight Who Lives. Did you notice that?
Well, that's because, he has...
His own shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh,
He runs Casablanca.
woo!
But yeah, that's me. I want to have her kick some spiritual tail.
You want a Rose
Fair.
Tyler.
Which one's that from?
That's
Doctor Who.
That's Doctor Who.
Oh, okay. Okay, Rose.
when
Yeah.
When she suddenly gets god powers, she is Bad Wolf, and she's just like, well, guess what? Nah.
I create myself. Oh, that was hardcore. I should rewatch The Ninth Doctor.
The best.
The
Doctor.
best Doctor.
The best Doctor. Go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me.
Is that everybody?
Kick-ass female protagonists.
Boom.
I
Okay.
just want to, before we get into the game, I do want to say my favorite non-subtle shot in the whole movie is when John and Angela are on the street and the demons are attacking, the lights are going out and stuff. There is a scene where the only lights left on are at the Catholic store across the street, and there's a Virgin Mary in the window. And as the lights are going off, Rachel Weisz backs into the arms of Mary.
Boom.
And I was like, I see what you did there. It's not subtle, but I appreciate it. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because I really liked that shot. There were some good shots in this movie. Some very interesting and nice angles.
Oh, yeah. No, there's some beautiful work in there.
I will say, I found it not as painful to rewatch as, say, like, the Daredevil movie.
I love Daredevil is my boo. He's so great. I have not rewatched that movie since I watched it in theaters. I don't need that in my life.
Don't. Just don't. Cherish your innocent memories, Pippin.
Right? I don't need that.
That's self-care, Pippin.
It is. I just wanted to say that. We can go on to games now.
So, it's game time, isn't it?
Yes. And I believe we decided to mess around with one of our normal games being, I'm not going to look up the title of it, but the one where what happens if a character from another property comes into this, what would happen? Kirk would have flirted with Constantine. So let's play with it because John Constantine is the sort of character who would show up fucking anywhere. So what would be fun for him to show up in? Who does he argue with?
So this is a
reverse.
A reversal. Somebody played the reverse card.
Ooh, fucking Ruindu now.
What's the name of the actual game?
Special appearance by.
Yes.
So it's special appearance by John Constantine.
All right. Should I go for
Go for it.
The obvious or the non-obvious?
Go for the. I mean, to be fair, this is the sort of game where we can just keep going.
Yeah.
Obvious one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's already got demons. You have, sending, vampires get dusted. So, I mean, it's already very practical. And then you have John Constantine. Oh, and then you have weird theology. Thank you, season 5. Yeah. So I just want John Constantine to show up and just be like, yeah, I'm doing things here now. Also, in this movie, he's in California. They're in California. Makes sense.
Okay, Kat.
Yeah.
Here's the question. Did he and Giles fuck?
Absolutely.
Yes.
No. I'm gonna say this. No. Because Giles has met Ethan Rayne, and he can sense that sort of chaotic energy. And he's like,
he doesn't want that in his life.
Oh, he wants it so bad. Like, so bad. But he's practicing, again, self-care and not getting involved with all of that. But they do a lot of things where they stand really close together over books and then, like, tug at the same book. and, like, Constantine's like, I need this, and Joss is like, you can't have it. And then they stare at each other really hard, and, like, I fuck a lot.
And Buffy's in the background, are you going to make out or what? Come on.
Meanwhile, yeah, Xander is making a lot of really weird comments about how he totally wouldn't make out with John Constantine. Like, not even if he offered. But, I mean, maybe, what if he did offer, though? It's a lot of things to think about.
Willow's trying to figure out how to be supportive.
I was picturing the weird threesome that happens with Buffy, Spike, and Constantine.
Oh, that definitely
Spike
happened.
and Constantine fuck.
Definitely. Definitely. That is, like, possibly before the show even fucking starts. That happened.
It's the morning after, and
Yes.
everyone is like, the fuck.
It's the morning after. They're like, well, there's this third guy here. What the shit? And then he turns out to be, like, and then, like, the actual mystery starts up later in the episode, and then John Constantine shows up, and so it's actually awkward next day vibes while trying to sort this out.
Oh, shit.
Thank you.
Someone needs to write this.
Thank
Kat.
you. Wow. This is my contribution, and I stand by it.
What was the non-obvious one, out of curiosity?
I was just gonna stick him into one of those, Netflix rom-coms. The holiday ones. One of the ones where there's, like, a ghost. You know, like the Canadian, Canadian bartender ghost.
These are him, too.
Yeah, but, like, is he supposed to be here? Is he human? Is he a demon? Like, maybe he's gotta do something, and then they fall in love and fuck. The end.
At least one of those things.
Both. All. I'll take it. Listen, it's a Netflix rom-com. They have to fall in love. Happily ever after, man. That's what these are about.
John Constantine doesn't get those.
Then fine, it could be a happily for now, which is also an accepted romance genre type.
Fine.
The end. So that was the non-obvious, but I really like my obvious one.
That's fair.
Of course.
That bore fruit. So here's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The obvious one to me, I mentioned earlier, is Doctor Strange. And the Centaurum, and all the weird mystic shit he has in there, and Constantine just going like, useless. Why do you have that? You shouldn't have that. And then Doctor Strange doing the same goddamn thing to him.
Yeah.
It's like, useless. No, that should come back with me. And them arguing over the best way to do something. Cause in my head, they are way too similar. Except Constantine is charming about it.
Well, ish. But here's what happens when Thor shows up and decides to fuck with both of them?
They fuck.
Okay, yeah, alright, yeah, no, alright.
Constantine flirts. Maybe it's a bit like, you're pretty, it's okay. Whereas Doctor Strange claims to know better.
Yeah.
But yeah, and in my head, Doctor Strange and Constantine come at a agreement impasse thing. Cause Doctor Strange's thing is that he looks at sort of the cosmic scale. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't look specifically at like Earth shit. Mm. Whereas Constantine seems very much about Earth shit and fuck the cosmic scale.
Wait. Are you saying that Doctor Strange doesn't want to talk about Earth stuff?
He does not. Doctor Strange does not want to talk about Earth stuff.
So in this scenario, Constantine is Chunt. Thank you, and that is the extent of my commentary on that.
Right.
But yeah, that's that. And I'm trying to think of a non-obvious one to sort of go with the theme.
Well, I'm going to cut you off before you steal it. Before you end up stealing mine. This is exactly that kind of situation where that might happen.
Is it Star Trek?
Is it because twins think alike?
Oh, it's not.
God damn!
Wait, Star Trek? No, you go ahead.
Yeah, fuck you. Twins don't think alike.
They just want us to believe that, Brendan. We know the truth.
Of course. We know. We've pierced behind the veil now.
Alex, Urza Buffa.
Yeah, no, we're not going to try. Don't.
That's right. But yeah, no, so, I didn't think this through. As with so many of my things.
Of course.
Yeah.
But listen, time travel often involved, in Star Trek, where they end up weird places. So they could end up in Constantine's apartment, one thing leading to another. And Constantine taking one look at everyone there and going, you know what? I'm a fuck Spock. Spock
yeah.
weirdly seems like Constantine's type.
I see that. I see that hard.
He'd have more fun with Bones, but he doesn't know that. He has the hands of a surgeon.
Wow.
That is a quote from Star Trek.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, no, and I don't know.
That's your non-obvious?
Yeah, there's science, there's magic, there's mad flirting.
Nice.
Spock doesn't know what to do with it, but, when does Spock ever?
Right. I'm gonna...
Go for it, Al.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Gravity Falls.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
Because Constantine now has a dilemma. There are twins. One is science and it's all sorts of demon stuff about demons and stuff. And the other is Uncle Stan, the grifter. Both very different flavors. Both very much in his wheelhouse.
Did you just call him Hunkle Stan?
Yeah, that was one of his nicknames on the internet.
Hot.
It specifically came up after he punched a zombie with some brass knuckles.
Oh yeah, he was really fucking hot in that.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
his coat off? Damn.
No. His coat was unbuttoned. His fez was off.
Oh, that's some hot shit. Thank you, and that's been a contribution from Cat Finds Cartoons Hot. Welcome.
2K19.
Yep. And, and it also works because Bill is also a dream demon.
Oh, true.
Oh, fair, fair.
Oh, yeah.
And John knows his shit. He knows how to deal with them, and also how'd you get this much unicorn hair? My niece beat up a unicorn.
Mabel.
Also, does Mabel will make Constantine a sweater? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she makes
Absolutely.
him drink Mabel juice. I don't know how she does it, but she does.
She calls it coffee.
Fair
He
enough.
doesn't look because he's so badass. And then he drinks it. And then, manfully does not do a spit take?
He swallows.
Sean Constantine doesn't spit 2K19.
I'd like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank the
sorry.
Academy for giving us this opportunity. That was beautiful, Pippin.
I don't get it.
And meanwhile, Dipper is trying not to be like Chaz.
Oh my god, he is so.
Yeah.
Dipper is how Chaz should have been.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So what's your non-obvious one?
Or is that, or rather your obvious one, if that's your
That was
non-obvious.
the non-obvious.
Oh no, Gravity Falls also was my obvious. My non-obvious is gonna go left field and say Ronald and a half. Somehow,
Shit.
somehow he finds himself in fucking China. How he still, not exactly sure.
Nocturne Albuquerque. Always gets you.
Or he may or may not have been pursuing a demon and onto a ship that then left port for China.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah. And then he just fucking doesn't know Chinese, and so walks fucking into one of the cursed springs. Which,
Ooh, a fusion fic.
yeah, it's a metafic.
Ooh.
Yeah. But here's where I turn it to you guys. Which spring did he fall into? Feel free to make up your own.
Oh, I totally want him to end up in the one where he turns into a girl, because that really brings on the full bisexual disaster.
Yeah, very
True.
very true, and
Yeah, that's fair.
very true. Well, this is going to be a new experience.
That or just the spring of drowned Yorkies.
Oh god.
Or the spring of drowned angel. How do you drown an angel? Oh,
Carefully.
And with their consent.
Turns into fucking Gabriel.
right.
Nice. Bren, your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Because I have to tell you guys, I have an extra unexpected one. But I'm going to wait till Brendan's done.
Okay. So, obvious one. It wasn't the Russian mob that killed John Wick's dog.
Oh shit.
It was demons.
Fucking shit, man.
Wait. Are you saying?
I love it.
Are you saying that Constantine decides to, you know what, I'm gonna be John Wick now, or is John Wick John Constantine's cousin, who is also named John?
I'm saying, like, the two run into each other as John Wick is doing his, revenge, and the two work together. There's lots of headshotting demons. It's epic.
And they make out.
Of course, I mean.
Well, actually, wait.
Yeah.
This might be the one situation where I say that they don't, because John Wick's wife has been dead for like a week.
That's true. Well, wait,
yeah.
but here's the thing. Misery sex.
Ooh.
Rebound.
True. John Constantine would be into that.
He would be really into that.
Yeah.
He would be there for you, however you
He'd
do.
say something like, he'd look at him like really hard and just be like, don't fall in love with me. He's like, I fucking won't. This isn't about you. This is about her. He's like, that's the way I like it.
And then there's only one bed.
And then there's only one bed.
Of course. And it's so cold outside.
Oh god, John
Fucking.
Constantine can use it as self-harm as he uses so many things.
Yes! Oh my god.
Guys, they were revenge mates.
Oh, no. Okay, and a not obvious one. Oh, man. I was having trouble thinking about one. Like, I guess I always kind of go back to the well of B99 just because...
Oh, I was thinking about that. That wasn't mine, but I was thinking about that during the movie.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's a great
like,
well.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic.
It is.
Because she's a detective, and that's what they do. They talk about, that's what detectives do, right?
They talk.
Yeah.
They talk about
here's
demons
the
and
thing.
demonology.
Like, there's these supernatural crimes happening around the precinct, and, like, Peralta shows up, but there's always this weirdo there.
Does he?
He would love him.
Which one of them arrests Constantine?
Santiago.
What?
Santiago.
Oh.
Rosa would sleep with him.
Oh, yeah, she would.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm going to sleep with him. I mean, you could not.
No, I'm gonna.
And meanwhile, Boyles is being jealous about how Constantine's going to end up being Jake's new best friend.
Because
Yep.
Jake canonically likes the weird ones.
He does. He really, really does.
Constantine will flirt with both Santiago and Peralta, and they will get into a weird competition about it.
Until we realize later in the episode that they've had a discussion off screen where they have agreed that Constantine is on both of their lists.
Yep.
Which is why they're having a competition about it.
Oh, I see. That's what they're having a competition about.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, they have this competition the entire show, but then they kind of, like, determine who wins, whatever, in typical B9 fashion, and that's when we discover that Constantine and Rosa off-screen have been, like, having a fling.
Hot. Yes. Fucking yes. Perfection.
And Holt has a sardonic comment about somewhere about he's on Kevin R's list as well.
I don't know. I like the idea of Holt just randomly quoting Latin and just being kind of being slightly snarky of the fact that Constantine is the shortcut guy. Holt is not a shortcut guy.
Here's the thing. Kevin is a scholar of the classics.
Oh my god, is he though?
He is. And a lot of classics tie into the sort of shit that Constantine does. It's just in the classics they're all not real. But what if Kevin knows that they are because he's a fucking scholar and he's looked into it?
Okay, but what if Kevin and Holt spend the entire episode treating Constantine like a really snotty undergraduate?
Yes.
Wait.
Who is trying to do shortcuts for their papers.
Wait. Is Kevin one of Constantine's contacts?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Okay. So that was me.
Is that your I forget, is that your obvious or non-obvious?
That was non-obvious.
All right, can I just have a very brief moment to say that I have an additional non-obvious, which is Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Like, I just want him to pop up, like, randomly, and just look around and be like, I'm not part of this. And leave.
And just leave. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A dimensional rift happened. He just shows up.
He's like, this isn't hell. Ugh.
And he's like 5 spider people like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
This isn't what I meant by spiders everywhere.
Oh my god, yes. Speaking of, I'm still looking around to see whether or not there's a fucking spider coming to get me.
Legit.
It is.
There is.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Pip.
So, all right. So I think we've talked quite a lot about Constantine here.
And who would Constantine fuck? I mean,
Dear audience, feel free to let us know.
Who else would Constantine fuck? So, write to us at...
and let us know who he would fuck in Run 1 1/2, because we didn't discuss that.
Everyone. I mean,
Everyone.
Yeah.
If you intend to write any of these fanfics that we have subtly suggested, please feel free to tag us in that, because I want to read them.
it's true. All right.
So very true. All right, so yeah, that was Constantine. Kat, I think it's your turn to take us out this week.
Well, hey. As always, if you have an idea or a prompt to submit, head on over to nostoryiссacred.com/submissions. Follow us on Twitter at nostoryiссacred, or send an email through contact@nostoryiссacred.com. Your hosts have been Alex McDonald, Brendan McDonald, Pippin McDonald, and Catherine Crichton. Editing for this episode done by Brendan. Transcript done by Ashley DaCosta. Art by Jay Wolf. Show notes and transcript are available at nostoryiссacred.com. Thanks for listening, everyone, and please rate, review, and subscribe to No Story is Sacred. You can also visit our Patreon page to support the show and get neat rewards at patreon.com/nostoryiссacred. See you next time when we talk about an original work by me! Woo! So exciting! We'll find out what it is when that comes up. Until then, we're No Story is Sacred, and any story can be changed. I'm Kat.
I'm Brendan.
I'm Pippin.
And I'm Alex.
And we're...
No Story is Sacred.
Sacred.